threatening storm now. A very strong Category 4 hurricane, winds up to 155 miles per hour.
The death toll from Hurricane Ian has now reached 131. 126 of those deaths were reported in Florida, making Ian among the deadliest hurricanes to hit the state in a century.
Rapid intensification.
Major Hurricane Ian.
This is going to be one of our worst storms.
It's like a third world country over there. There's no water, there's no power, there's no transportation. We have to bike it, we have to walk on our feet until we can.
Understand correctly, then one of the main problems you would have here is there's no organized, I guess, somebody making the decision that we need to do this and needs to get here at this time. Is there? I mean, there should be somebody that makes that decision. And there's no home base. There's not one person. There's not one entity that's doing that. Is that right?
It's everyone is doing their best to work together, but I think because you have the different organizations, like Lee County Sheriff is here, Sanibel Police is here, the city is trying to do their stuff, and then you had the National Guard in here, and then you had the state guys and the feds coming in, and it was just like everybody's trying to do what they think is best to help, but it wasn't a coordinated effort. Like even today we met with this lady came over from the EOC, and she's like, some people are upset with you guys, and some people are like, hey, this is awesome. We don't know what's even happening. But a day and a half before it was going to hit Tampa,
Yep.
you know, and then it started kind of ticking back east and south, and because everybody was starting to get a little bit more comfortable down here, like 5 days out, it was like, okay, this might be something.
Yep.
And then, okay, it's going to go north. It was even going to maybe go up into the Panhandle.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. People were absolutely just freaking out. Were there any lost lives on Sanibel?
Yes.
How many so far?
Haven't been able to confirm that, but it's last I heard it was at least a half a dozen. I don't know if I'm assuming it's beyond that, because word I got was they're expecting to find people in their attics.
Yeah. And who are potentially even maybe starving and looking for that help, you know, and or hurt themselves or can't breathe, or that's the fear that I always had, and why we've done so much hurricane work right afterwards, is those people that are yearning for our assistance. And you've got the emergency response, the actual government, who's like, it's not safe for us to help, and we told you to evacuate. That's a huge thing people don't realize. They turn off the emergency services and say, we told you to evacuate, we're not coming. We
woke up the next morning, it was worst case scenario, it was coming right here. It was direct hit on Sanibel, both sides of the eye wall. I mean, people stayed. A buddy of mine right down the road here, he FaceTimed me in the morning. He was like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be, I'm like, dude, it's, and they ended up, I mean, they have PTSD right now.
Oh my gosh, how many?
We'll give you an idea of surge. All right, check this out. So this boat was sitting in the driveway.
Okay.
I don't know how it got back up here, but it was flipped around this way, pointing that way 3 days ago. So I think the government came in and helped us because we requested to fly this out here on a Chinook.
So maybe somebody they came and like literally flipped it on its right side.
This had to be the government, because no one else is out here with anything to do this. So this is the first time seeing this.
Yeah.
But back here in the back corner of that driveway, we had a container full of a whole bunch of materials, construction, because we do work out here anyway.
Yeah.
That's it in my neighbor's backyard right there.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
See it sitting in an angle back there?
No, surges.
So it went from that corner, somehow made it around this stuff or over or through, and it's back there.
Wow.
Gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. And that's full of like
It's heavy. It's
it's not
Yep.
just light. It's full of like porcelain, tile, stone.
So you guys might be the perfect people to answer this, Candice, and you work in the industry as well. I mean, you know, your home like this. I mean, is this something that would be a complete loss? I mean, judging by the water intrusion, or is this something that?
Obviously, no. So the answer,
Obviously, no.
The insurance company would be, they look at it, and if I always say this, that was the scary part about Hurricane Michael was, there's something about a level 5 and 4 that if your house is standing and doesn't get blown away, because if it doesn't get like a mini tornado to where it's just ripped apart and you have no roof and everything's just all over the place, the insurance company is going to argue you can demo that inside and at least the shell will stay. That's what their mindset is. Their shell will stay. So looking at it right now, like let's say you start doing mitigation, it's not going to look wet inside anymore. It's not going to be very clear that it took on water. And so the insurance company will not clearly just say, hey, this is a total loss. But also, you're dealing with two different insurance companies. You've got flood that came up, and the flood's not going to declare it a total loss.
No.
And then you have the homeowner's insurance that's saying, I'm only looking at what came in through the roof and the windows. And they're not going to say it's a total loss because they're not even dealing with the flood.
Right.
So it's going to be hard for either one of them to go, hey, it's a total loss, until you get, fortunately, someone to put it all together, which is why it will end up being so many legal issues, is you got to have...
Common areas, people only think of the homes, but a lot of the common areas around here too, correct?
Yep.
Those are things that are also destroyed that have to be put back together.
Yep.
You were saying you got some ice cream store around this way?
Yeah, my friend owns an ice cream shop right around the corner from this grocery store. My kids work there, his kids work, they run it. Tons of the teens on the island, that's where they work, that's where they hang out. It's an awesome place. Joey's Custard's right around, I'll show you when we go over there. But yeah, it's same thing. We just went in there the other day, 6-7 feet of water, just torched everything. I think by the next morning it had receded at least enough to get out and walk around, but it was dicey. I mean, there was obviously all the wildlife, whether you got gators, snakes, everything else. It'd been, everything had come in. There's fish, big fish laying all around the parking lots, the roads. I mean, just that, as the water came out, they just got stuck here, and there's fish laying around.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk a walk over here. Show me what we're talking about.
Yeah, so this is all like, cool little Adirondack chairs and stuff, tables, people hang out over here.
Oh, wow. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord.
It just redone a little remodel to it 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks before.
This place needs more help. I mean, in fairness, this is a pretty, and it's no fault of anybody that wants to help, like you guys.
Right.
But, I mean, in fairness, where the hell is everybody?
Yeah.
I mean, we just drove across a lot of this island. Yeah. I see you guys, Ark, and I see Belfort. I mean, in fairness, see them right there.
I think they got here yesterday, because I wasn't here yesterday.
Who else, though? You know what I mean?
It's kind of a ghost town.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, where's the help, if that makes sense?
Even the homeowners. I mean, there's hardly anyone here. Can't get here.
Some residents who came by and said, some love what you're doing, some don't love what you're doing type thing. Who's not going to love what you're doing?
It's more, not residents, more or less just the different municipalities and different jurisdictions, because they're all trying to help in their own way. But you have the local law enforcement, you have the county law enforcement, then you have the National Guard was here, then you have the state guys came in, and then whoever else is trying to keep the place safe. And it was a disaster, and it wasn't safe to be around here, so they're trying to keep it safe. But in the same time, it's a tough mix, because you got to keep it safe. But if no one can get here to actually help, like you're saying, you can't start to do anything. So it's in that week or so plus that went by, like Candice was saying, everything is just getting way worse, because now once you go 72 hours of water, you have microbial growth happening.
Yeah.
After 72 hours. And so it wasn't even, that's what happened.
We don't want people to think that it's just back to normal here if it's not back to normal.
We got 10 years before this is going to be back to normal.
I had 5 years, so let's say 10. Okay, yeah. So, but people tend to forget it. When I was up there with Michael in the Panhandle, people forget about it. They think, oh, it's just back to normal. It's still not back to normal. So we'll try to bring attention to it through our contractors and through our channel, and we'll keep on doing our best. But it's nice meeting you, gentlemen.
You too. Yep, you take care.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it for any support you can give us.
We are, man. We're going to try to do it. We're going to get it out there. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man.
I would say a handful, yeah.
Yeah, there over the last couple of days, we've probably seen a couple hundred residents, but you got to remember, there's no transportation. So the only residents that are here are the ones that are coming over by private boat to come to their property, to evaluate their property, to see what cleanup and try to get it, the mediation companies that come in.
I too.
Just so you can get an idea of the sense of community on Sanibel, we're a nonprofit in the sense that all of our services
This is our mayor.
Oh, hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
My name is Patrick.
Hey, Patrick, Holly Smith.
Nice to meet you, Holly. We feel like, a lot of times these communities get forgotten about once
We're not going to get forgotten.
You don't think so?
Oh, no, we're not. The world watches Sanibel. We're not getting forgotten. I think we're getting what we need, but we're going to need state assistance. We're going to need federal assistance. FEMA, 250,000, this is going to be an insurance crisis. It already is.
I don't want to say it, but I think you're right. That's the problem, is the insurance crisis. It's coming down the road with claims.
What they are going to see right now is the worst insurance crisis that they have seen, because of the size of this storm is just almost beyond compare. And our economy, our Florida economy, our Southwest Florida economy is based on Sanibel Island, based on Fort Myers Beach. Our economy is going to take a huge hit because of this, because until we can get back on our feet with our economy, so much of our industry is going to be shot.
Yes.
And we're going to rebuild. People are going to watch us rebuild in a way that, to me, I've got the resolve, the dedication I think so many on the island do. And I think the best thing you can do is make sure you tell our story.
I will.
Don't stop telling it.
We won't. That's what we do.
We're not going to stop telling it, and we will work to get us back together. I think there are a lot of things to consider. We met with the governor, and then we were with the governor and the president. We had Governor DeSantis and President Biden talking.
I know, I saw some pictures of that.
Hey, and
wow.
You know what?
Yeah.
And that's where we become Americans, not Republicans and Democrats. And I talked to the president's aide to talk about the infrastructure needs that we have, the FEMA needs that we have. And we'll see how that plays out. But we're not shy here. We're Sanibelians. We're going to watch something just amazing unfold. And we're fighters. We really are fighters.
You strike me as
I was born as a fighter, so.
Well, I'll tell you, I have one final question for you. It's okay. We toured the island on Thursday, our third day here, and there was a thought, put it that way, that there were some people that maybe didn't evacuate, and that as you go home to home here, there could be some individuals that didn't make it. Do you think there are some things that have been left uncovered yet, where there's going to be some bad news that people may get? They're left in their homes.
We hope not.
Is that realistic to think that could? Is it? It's just unfortunate.
Of course, but let's look at the good part. Okay. So probably we had over 1,000 people that we know of that we verified that had stayed on the island.
Okay.
Maybe that number's up to around 1,200. Probably this time of year, we've got, around 4,000. My numbers don't quote, you can quote me as much as I know, but a lot of our island is gone. So 25% of the people chose to stay here. No harm, no foul, no judgment. You get complacent. If you've been following this for a long time, then we always prepare for the very worst and hope for the best. The best thing that could have happened is we said we dodged the bullet again. We did with Charlie. We did with Irma. We did with Wilma. You go through all those storm names. So people become a little complacent and say, you guys always tell us to get off.
I get that.
We never wanted this perfect storm, and everything that we didn't want to happen, happened, and it did. And if our count is consistent at the numbers right now, it is verified at 4 people. To me, that's miraculous.
I would agree with you.
Absolutely miraculous. Do we know 100% what we're going to find? No. But we've had urban search and rescue do 2 sweeps, recovery do 1 sweep, and nothing has been revealed. I don't have a list of anyone remaining that I know of that has stayed on the island. That's not to say that there isn't, but pretty much everybody has claimed safe that we know of.
So in stuff like this, I often feel like blue collar workers get a little demonized because they think, oh, they're just out here to make a buck. You know, these people come.
These guys are our heroes.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
That's what I feel like,
God,
though.
No. And on this island, no. Every person that is committing, they want to be here. They want to help us be what we're going to be. And we can't do it. I'm in the hospitality business. You know, I own hotels. The people that work at my properties, they're my lifeline. And they're my family. Every person that's out here doing the work that they're doing, they've become part of our family.
Your passion is
Now,
contagious.
there are bad apples everywhere, but there's such a small percent. Get them out of the way and get the people that are going to do the work and appreciate what they're doing and know what they are being a part of. I couldn't be more proud of everybody.
Wow, that's powerful right there.
Well, I mean it. I seriously mean it. I've raised my family out here. We work for free. I'm a volunteer as mayor.
Wow.
And I do it because I so love this island. Everything it stood for before, everything that we've stayed committed to for almost 50 years, 48 years, going on our 50th, we have stayed committed to what this island is. And it's a conservation island. It is not, we are nonpartisan out here. We vote Sanibel. And we're going to continue to vote Sanibel. And we got to keep it the way it is, because I'm scared to death of the vultures that might be coming in to try to change what we are. And not while I've got blood running through my veins.
I like it. Mayor, it's a pleasure.
Yeah,
Patrick Carr.
pleasure.
All right, we are in yet one more condominium complex, and a scene like the one I see right here. This is not something that's rare right now on the island. You see busted out windows, a pool that now should just basically be a small ocean. If we pan around to right here, in fact, let's just go to this. I think what you can show is just the power of these waves. These are steel fences that we have right here, and they've been completely bent in, blown over, and removed. This place absolutely devastated. I wish I could say that what you see right here is something that's rare, but as we drove in here today, you see it time and time again, mile after mile on this island. This is something, unfortunately, these residents are going to come home to, and it's not going to be a few, it's going to be everybody. So you guys are just going here because you emergency services, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and we already got contracts with them, so it's like, we know we're getting paid either by the insurance carrier or by the homeowner, the HOA.
But I think the problem that we've tried to show, and I mean, I think it is a real issue, is that these homeowners, like single family, you know, where do you even start if your insurance company?
If you have no insurance, you got FEMA. Then it becomes FEMA.
Oh God!
Flood, and
come on.
Else. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
I don't get involved in that.
Yeah.
I don't get involved. That's anytime I travel, it's all commercial. I don't do residential work. That here, I won't do it. I'll give my services away because I feel bad for everybody. So
that's fine, man.
And I just be like,
I'll help you however I can, you know.
I'm losing money if I did residential.
I get that.
This place got fucked. Fort Myers got.
So, what do you think the timeline? I mean, I know what I've seen in the past, but as far as getting this thing back up and running, what do you think?
Definitely next year.
Next year, at least.
We have another place down the island that's a timeshare.
Yes.
They closed it and said that it's closed until September of next year.
Okay. This is unbelievable.
Unfortunately.
I know, but and you know what? Unbelievable is the wrong word. Believable.
Yes.
Because it's here.
As I keep telling myself, we are snowbirds, so we have another house that we live in most of the year.
That's a really good thing to tell yourself there.
Some people have no home here and no home elsewhere.
You're right. And the most important things to understand is when you think about hurricanes, you oftentimes are thinking about the wind. But if you look right down here, just a couple of weeks right here, you have mold that is setting in and will continue to move up the wall unless there's mitigation that's done for this. We tend to look at and think about the wind because that's what the media wants to show, the big trees and all that stuff. But here what we have is what really ends up hurting these units is the water intrusion, all right, which can lead to the mold. This is the kind of stuff that's imperative for blue collar workers to get out here and get this stuff taken care of as quickly as possible. And insurance companies to get workers out here to make sure we mitigate those losses, everybody. Very important.
So the hurricane panel survived, everything would have been fine.
Now, when you say somebody came out here, though, is that an insurance company? Is that FEMA? Who comes out and taking care of that right now?
I was out here 2 days after the storm after the hurricane.
Oh, so when you say somebody came out there and did it, that's you doing it?
I didn't do the coverage. There was a Belford.
Belford did it, okay.
Yeah, Belford, yeah.
All right.
But they did it like a week ago.
All right.
Yeah, but the main reason I came out here was because one of my buddies, he was the manager of Shalimar, which is no longer there. Now one building is standing. He stayed on this island. Luckily, his daughter convinced him to stay, but, well, she convinced him to move to a different property. He refused to leave the island, so he went to a condo next door, or a couple of doors down, I should say. The property owners of Shalimar, they own that condo as well. So he went there, then the next day when the hurricane hit, the last call I got from him was, hey, I'm in the bathtub, the hurricane windows got blown in.
Oh,
and that was 6 p.m. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I'll turn my phone off to save the battery. I was like, I'll call you in a couple hours to check in. 2 days later, nothing. So then I got on the jet ski and came back out here. Got a 18 case of Bud Light for the guys at the ramp.
Yeah.
I was like, look guys, it needs to be done. We came out here. Luckily, his daughter arranged the boats. Somebody got to him 20 minutes prior.
Oh, Gordon, man, wow.
So yeah.
I unfortunately think that it's going to be a long time. These people are going to have claims denied too.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
the insurance companies going bankrupt. You know, you're talking about billions of dollars.
And so, you know, they're not going to be in a hurry to pay out these claims. And unfortunately, I believe that that's going to mean homeowners are stuck for a long time, or they're going to have to finance the repairs and they're going to have to take what they can get.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, you know. I would hope that during these times it'd be like, hey, let's step up and just do it, do the right thing. But I think everybody knows.
Yeah. Nothing ever changes on that. Politics are politics, bureaucrats are bureaucrats. It's just, yeah.
It's a broken system, man.
Yeah, it'll never change.
Thank you for watching. It was a true pleasure being able to put this together for you. You know, when we stepped foot onto Sanibel Island, we didn't know what to expect. We could only get there by boat and by chopper. And when you step foot on an island such as that, boy, it's all left up in the air. What we found, though, was residents who were extremely hopeful, and yet others that were hopeless. We couldn't help but wonder, why does it take so long to put lives back together? Does it take 5 years to build a church, or 10 years to put a house back together? We don't believe so. But yet that's what these residents believed, and they're not alone. We see this in Sanibel Island and Fort Myers Beach. We see it in the Panhandle with Michael and countless cities in Louisiana. And with that in mind, we know there are answers out there. And you know what? These residents of these states, they deserve answers. And so this is my promise to you. We're going to find them. And to us, we think the best place to start is in our capital.